Why are our earners? Why do they feel broke, or how do they you're a six-figure income earner, and you think that you feel broke. It might not even be you. It might be your friends. It might be your family members, and you're wondering why did they stay broke? The P5, how are you? Well, I'm back tonight, and I just wanted to touch base, seeing that a lot of people, we are just one day away, or yeah, one day away from the World Building Academy. How are you today? Welcome. Thank you for tapping out the live. Ondo, how are you? Welcome. And today we're talking about why are income earners, why are they broke, and of course we're going to be touching about things about building and things around that. That's what we're talking about today. Because some of the most financially stressed people there, they are income earners, six-figure salary. You probably have heard this over and over again. And why? They get good income, they have good degrees. And tonight we have both the TikTok and the YouTube community right on one side. Talk about efficiency, productivity. How are you all doing tonight? High income earners, six-figure salary, they have the degree, they have the skill set, they have the career, but guess what? One thing that is missing is they lack the financial knowledge. That's one thing that is missing. So welcome, and if you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina. I'm a doctor of business and technology, a health professional. Turn their income into real wealth. So how are you? Happy Friday, happy Thursday. It's one more day till the end of the week. Absolutely amazing. I hope you're all excited. And I just thought that let me just pop up here tonight just to say hello to each and every one of us. So really appreciate you tapping out the live. Yeah, really appreciate you, sharing the live, inviting your friends over, right? Because one thing that is very important, if you're trading your time for money, if your income stop of your money stops flowing anytime you stop working, it means that you're not building wealth, right? It means that you don't have financial freedom. But then if you're building wealth whenever, your money still continue even though you work or you do not. And that's why in this community we talk about financial freedom. We talk about freedom, right? That's the goal. Money is just a tool. Freedom is the goal. So that's what we talk about here. So if your goal is financial freedom and you have been wondering how to go about it and you don't know how to go about, then you're in the right community. As a matter of fact, this community is called the $1 Million League. What does that mean? We are community saying that, you know what? We want to change the trajectory. They tell us that the story, right? What they told us, go to school, get a job, right? And of course, start working. And that's what they told us. But guess what? How is that helping, right? Because you see that people work from age 20 to 65 and still do not have financial freedom. How then do you gain financial freedom? It is one of the skills that we talk about, the four wealth skills, the four wealth system, the four wealth steps. That's how you can build financial freedom and build wealth. Because right, your income does not give you wealth. Your income pays bills. It's what you do with that income. That is what is going to help you build wealth. Society tells us something. They teach us the I structure, right? The I structure, that's what 1, 2 step is what they taught us. Go to school, get a job, right? When you get a job, you get that income and you fund lifestyle. But then that is going to keep you on a paycheck to paycheck. It's going to keep you on that answer wheel. It's going to keep you on that rat race for 25, 30, 40, 45 years and still not gain financial freedom. But for you to gain financial freedom, it's a four-step rule, right? Four-step, that's what it takes. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And if you're just joining, I'm Dr. Lina, because you might be wondering, what gave her the authority? What's she even talking about? We're talking about the four-step wealth system that you use to gain financial freedom, because money is just a tool. Financial freedom is your goal. And this community is called the $1 Million League, community of people that want to get to that $1 million status in 10 years or less, right? That's what we're doing. This is not get rich quick scheme. This is solid strategy that we use right here. You following, and as a matter of fact, two things that is very important to us. Number one is protection. Number two is financial growth, growing your money. Those are the two things that we base it off here. And you're wondering, I'm meeting me for the first time, Dr. Lina. I'm a doctor of business and technology. I'm a vice president of technology myself, being in corporate America for close to 2 decades. And of course, I help professionals turn their income into real wealth. How? because I also I own and manage double digit real estate portfolio. I'm not a realtor, but I own and manage double digit real estate portfolio and help people with some of the strategy alongside some other businesses to help you build wealth, following the multi-millionaires rules, right? That's following that, and that's how you get there. And Mahola just joined the $1 million league. Congratulations to you. Clicking that follow button, and on my YouTube side, make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't done that. If you're still waiting and you're be seated here, click on the follow button and get to join the $1 million league. And we do different teachings right here off on the platform on Zoom, whereby we're training people. As a matter of fact, we have the Wealth Building Academy, which is free training this weekend on Saturday, June the 6th. This Saturday, you don't want to miss it. We only have about 3 to 5 seats left at this point, so you don't want to miss that. But guess what? Why do high income earners? Why do they feel broke? Why are they six-figure salary? Maybe you are one of them, or or you are not yet there. You are aiming to be there. The minute you get there, you cross that $100,000 salary. Guess what you would see? First of all, you start seeing something called floodgates of credit cards. Everybody wants to get a pinch of you because you'll be qualified for all of the credit cards, right? That's what happens. And guess what? If you do not manage it well, you would see that you're not going to build wealth. Thank you all for tapping out the live. Let's tap out the live. Tapping out the live just shows that you found value. Click on the follow button and join the $1 million league. And also make sure that you share the live with your friends and family so that they can come and learn how to build wealth, turning your 9 to 5 into real wealth. I do want to thank you so much for that. And also, of course, get your daily at me and become a fan and get that MDL in front of your name. Moving Silence, thank you for tapping out the live and also sharing the life, and everyone doing that. So tonight we're talking about that four wealth system, that four wealth step that we were not taught in school, that if you use the strategy, you will see that you're building wealth. Some people, the most set of people, which is very crazy, right? Very, very crazy. You expect that the high income earners, the six-figure salary earners, you think that, oh, they should be the one that is less financially pressured. But guess what? They're the most financially stressed set of people that I have seen. Why? That's because they get good income, right? You would expect a medical doctor a medical doctor with good income, right? To be okay. You expect that, I mean, they have good degrees, they've worked, whatever, you could be in tech, you could be, you're making good income, right? You have a beautiful career, but then you still feel financially stressed, right? Because I got to the position of vice president and I was still financially stressed up until when I started building financial freedom right outside of my income. That's when I started gaining financial freedom. So I understand when you feel that way, either as a medical doctor making decent money, or you're not even a medical, you are making some, you're above that six-figure, like you're in the six-figure bracket and you're still not making money. Why? So let's talk about why. Because the first thing first is that understand one thing: income does not equal wealth. And a lot of people make this mistake. As a matter of fact, that's what we were taught in school. Like we were taught that, oh, when you get that job and you make that money, that equals wealth. But no, it does not, right? It's what you do with that income. That's what is going to tell you that you're building wealth or not. That's going to, because whatever requires your time, if your income stops, if your money flow stops, when your income stops, when you stop working, right, it means that you're not building wealth. It means that if that income is not there tomorrow, you cannot fund your lifestyle. That is not wealth, right? But guess what? If your income, I mean, you're still able to fund your lifestyle, you're still able to live life like normal, either you are working or you are not. That is financial freedom. That is when you're saying that you're building wealth, right? The initial one was you trading time for money. That is paycheck to paycheck. That's basically what you're doing, right? And yes, a lot of people fall in this category, regardless of how much they are earning. They fall in this category. So income does not equal wealth. That's number one thing. The other thing is that wealth. So where does wealth come from? Understand one thing: wealth comes from something called asset. Asset is what builds wealth. So What are assets? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So understand that first, your income does not build wealth. What build wealth is something called asset. It means that something about yourself. Hey, hello, cuz. How are you? So good to have you right here. And everyone, thank you so much for tapping out the like. Click on that follow button. Join the $1 million family. This is the $1 million league. So great, great, great to have each and every one of you today. And we're talking about what are six high income earners. Why do they feel broke? Because if you understand it, what you would realize is that you would start building wealth. That's basically what you would do. Because if you understand the mistake that they make, you correct it, and then you would see that you start building wealth. So the first thing, your income does not equal wealth. It's what you do with that income that what really determines if you're building wealth or not. All right. So wealth comes from assets. So what are assets? Asset is something that puts money into your pocket, right? There's as a matter of fact, let me show you this. If you have not read this book, right? I'm sure everybody knows this book. If you have never not, or you're just starting, go get a copy of this book, and I'll put it inside the. I don't know if I'm able to still. Maybe I can be able to show you that. You should be able to have it. Let's see, just get a copy of this book, right? Just maybe in the next life, I will be able to put it in the showcase and you'll be able to see it. This book helps you. It tells you everything about asset and liability, right? As a matter of fact, get your kids to read it as well. There's the one for teenagers. It tells you assets and liability. What is asset and liability? You don't need to be an accountant, be or a chartered accountant to understand that. Asset simply means something that puts money in your pocket. Liability means something that takes money out of your pocket. Just understand it that way. Asset puts money in your pocket, liability takes money from your pocket. So it means that when you put your money towards asset, it means that money you would start having something called cash flow, right? I call it appreciating cash flowing asset. Now, liability on the other hand, it's called something depreciating lifestyle liability. So it's taking money from you. So all of that, your purse that you're buying, that shoe that you're buying, that car that you bought, those are liability, those are not asset. Asset simply means, you put your money either in a stock market, you put your money in real estate, you put something that just put it in businesses that is going to generate wealth for you. It just creates another medium of you, just the same way you are working right now, doing your 9 to 5, trading your time for money. Now imagine you are not there, but something else, your money is doing that job for you. And that's when you start building wealth, and that's how you gain financial freedom. So wealth comes from asset. A bigger paycheck doesn't automatically create financial freedom. Because understand this, you would have heard about basketballers, you see about footballers, you'd have heard about all of them, and some of them get as high as $1 million in a month, right? They make so much money, but what happens? You get that they retire, and guess what? They are bankrupt. You have heard that before, right? So the thing about it is, if you're not so it tells you something. The income doesn't create wealth. That explains it to you. It doesn't create wealth. So a bigger take paycheck, the fact that you are medical doctor, as a matter of fact, I pity the medical doctors because all eyes on them. But guess what? I've had a lot of clients, and I can tell you conveniently that they are suffering in silence because guess what? They have the student loan, they have a lot of taxes on them in terms of the responsibility because a lot of people expect so much of them, right? But guess what? They are crying because the income does not actually satisfy the kind of responsibility that they have. So they have a lot of time they don't even have a lot to keep. So that just tells you, just gives you an idea, bringing it back home to the professional space, right? A bigger paycheck doesn't automatically create financial freedom, right? Financial freedom is you don't trade your time for money, but you can still fund your lifestyle. So imagine yourself right now being on one private island right now, and guess what? The work that you have done today, you still got that money in your pocket. That is what asset does for you. That is what is called financial freedom. Now what is the first thing first? Why then does the high income earners, why are they broke, right? Why are they broke? Give me 1 second. Why are they broke? right? One is the lifestyle inflation, right? Because there is the bigger paycheck comes in same, but so is the expensive car. Now we want to impress everybody, right? Now you have gotten to the finally got arrived because now you are in the six-figure bracket. Yes, I always say that is the six figure, is it a blessing or is it a curse? Because guess what? We have a whole lot of people that are less than $100,000 doing so doing so well, having a lot in their rota, becoming millionaires, but the ones above $100,000 not being able to take care of things as much as their 401k, becoming millionaires. Because a lot of times once you get to that bracket, you assume that you've arrived, and there's something called lifestyle inflation, because the bigger paycheck, then also your expenses follow, and then now your expenses is competing with your income, right? And guess what? Your income is supposed to be here, your expense is supposed to be here. The difference between your income and your expense, that is what you can use in building wealth. If your income is there, your expense is here, or your expense is above here, then you are in a negative. There's nothing. Zero in investment is zero, right? Zero times zero is zero. There's nothing to multiply. But then if your income is a Noah, welcome, and welcome joining the $1 million league. Congratulations joining that $1 million league. This is the community of millionaires. You're wondering what that is. These are people that are saying that, you know what, we want to retire. We want to not retire. We want to gain financial freedom. Be work optional in 10 years or less. That's it, 10 years or less. Because people do from age 20 to 65 and still do not have, they still do not get financial freedom because they still have to work, because lifestyle inflation has taken over while they were working. But then these are things that were changing. And some of them, it was not even a case of lifestyle inflation. Some of them is because of the investment vehicle they put in their money. Where they put it in the bank, and guess what? The bank is not growing your money. And we'll talk about it using the rule of 72 to show you how long it takes your money to double. So lifestyle inflation, and let's keep tapping out the live. Thank you all for tapping out the live. Make sure you click that follow button. If you find this helpful, make sure you click that follow button, and of course, share the live, invite your friends over, get your daily admin right there. So lifestyle inflation is number one big deal. So whenever you get to that six-figure salary, you want to ensure that you stay away from that inflation mindset, right? King Kike, thank you so much for tapping on the light, right? You stay away from that mindset, right? Ray, and everyone that just joined, welcome in. You want to make sure that expensive car, you can delay the gratification. It's not about instant gratification. It's not about you trying it's not about you trying to impress others. It's about you actually becoming wealthy, right? Rather than you saying that, okay, you want to look wealthy, right? So, expensive cars, you want to just delay it a little bit. The other thing that you want to do is reduce the bigger house. If you don't need, so there's so many people that are house poor. They are house poor, right? You don't allow your 30% of your income should go towards housing, right? 30% or less. But a lot of times this doesn't happen, right? This doesn't happen. So bigger homes, more subscription. This more subscription is a big deal. It's a big deal. As a matter of fact, we'll be having a 21 days money reset challenge starting June the 8th, which is by Monday. We're going to be doing 21 days, where part of the things that we're going to be addressing is this, subscription, how to increase your income, all of the entire four pillars that we talk about here in terms of the wealth building curriculum that we have within the $1 Million League. That's what we're going to be executing for the next 21 days after the wealth building academy that we have on this Saturday, this Saturday, 12 noon on Zoom. So if you have not registered, make sure we have about 3 or 4 seats left at this point. So I'll show you, but you will find the link in my bio. So it's about the faster finger at this point. We'll find the link in my bio. The next year is the only link right there. Click on it and you will see the Wealth Building Academy, where we have four doctors that are coming to teach you, not medical doctor, PhD. They're coming to teach you. Executive director of graduate admissions and scholarship will coming to teach you how do you go to college for free. So it can be your kids, it might be you that want to increase your skill set so that you can increase your money. How can you go to school for free? That's going to be there. Chief Information Security Officer and AI cybersecurity professor. He's also going to come, he lectures at the university. He's also going to be coming to teach us. There is the clinical therapist, a social worker that is also going to be teaching us. And all of this is going to be for free. And Wakia just joined the $1 Million League. Congratulations joining that, clicking that follow button. And for those that also clicking the subscribe button on the YouTube side, congratulations to you doing that as well. So make sure you don't miss that training. It's life changing. All of the training, this is the third training that we are doing in a row for free, because this is about corporate social responsibility that we're giving back to the society, because we understand that when there is when there is reduction, when there's money in circulation, when people understand how to build wealth, guess what's going to happen? There will be the reduction in terms of, there will be, what's it called? Reduction in terms of crime. There will, because poverty goes side by side by crime, with crime, side by side. So we're saying that we're helping as many people to learn how to build wealth, because a lot of people are doing it wrong. Not because they don't, not because they want to do it that way, but because they don't know. It was excluded from the school curriculum. They just taught us how to get the skill and get the income, but that does not equate wealth. An entrepreneur just joined the $1 Million League. Congratulations joining the $1 Million League. Congratulations to you, saying that you want to get to that $1 million status in 10 years or less, right? And of course, we have strategy, not against rich quick scheme, but I tell you, it's a strategy that works, which the multi-millionaires that they use, and that's the same blueprint that we use right here. Just follow it, and you see yourself on the journey to becoming a millionaire in 10 years or less. And of course, if your goal is to retire, early, then of course, you want to, congratulations to you. You're on your way right there. So now we already said that income does not pay bills. Income only pays bills, right? Income only pays bills. And thank you for tapping out the light, sharing out the light, inviting your friends over. Share this. When you share, it shows that you're sharing love, just the same way we are doing CSR right here, teaching you, right? Share out the life and show love. But when you tap out the life, it shows that you have found value. That's the only language that the algorithm understand. And make sure you click the follow button. Sit here for a minute or two, and you find that, okay, you're getting value. Make sure you click on that follow button and tap out the live, share out the live, get your daily admin and join, become a fan of this community. Awesome. So income does not pay your bills. Income does not equal wealth. Wealth comes from assets, and of course, a bigger paycheck does not automatically create freedom. So understanding this means that avoid lifestyle inflation, right? Avoid lifestyle inflation. Don't let your income go up and then the bigger car you need. I mean, you don't have to drive Mercedes, right? Yeah, that bigger home, you can wait a little bit. And as a matter of fact, I'm not saying don't drive the Mercedes, but the only thing that pays for that Mercedes, not your time, not you trading that time. That's not what is going to buy the Mercedes. It is your asset that pays for it. Delay it a little bit. Take some of that your income that you go and use to buy that Mercedes. Take that income and use it to do something called use it to fund assets. That asset gets to a point, it starts generating money for you. Of course, when you get that money, go buy the Mercedes, enjoy the life, grab the best of the vacation. And I love beautiful things. So I tell people, enjoy the life, but do not trade your time to fund that kind of life, right? Let your asset fund the lifestyle. See? They're just the same. We're achieving the same goal, but guess what? It is just in a different way, right? That's all that we're doing. All right. So also more pressure and all of that, and we'll talk more about this in the Wealth Building Academy, as a matter of fact. So make sure you get your access to it. So it's this flow: income, asset, cash flow, freedom, right? What we were taught in school. Polari will just join the $1 Million League. Congratulations, clicking on that follow button. So super amazing to have you, as I'm glad to be your coach. So great, great, great. So income, it starts with your income, right? Instead of what we were taught in school is what they said, it's an I, right? Income, lifestyle, right? Income, lifestyle. And what does that do? That's paycheck to paycheck. That's the rat race. That is the hamster wheel. That is the American dream that is sold to us. But unfortunately, we are all stressed from it. It's like a burden on your shoulder, right? because you're saying that I don't like this job, but I have to go because I have to pay bills. The bills gotta be paid, right? The bills gotta be paid, right? So, and that's the thing, because of that. But then what do you change? What you change simply is change it to a triangle or change it to a four step, right? It starts with your income and flows to your asset. And then the asset is going to start giving something called cash flow. Once you have cash flow, of course, that's when you gain financial freedom because you don't have to work. It's your asset that is working. It's your asset that is on the hamster wheel doing the work for you. In your sleep, you are making money. When you are on one island, you are making money. That's how wealth is built, and that's how you can actually have freedom, financial freedom. Because yes, it's Money Talk with Dr. Lina, but here it is about financial freedom, right? Because we're not talking about, very different from a lot of wealth coaches and all of those personal finance, because what I teach here, I talk about all around human, right? Because whenever I talk about wealth, it's not just about money. We talk about the money wealth, your health wealth, eating right, your mental state of mind and all of that, right? Then your time wealth, which is financial freedom, that time, ability to live life at your own time. And of course, your peace wealth, which is your freedom, your protection, your foundation, right? Your peace wealth, all of those, your emergency fund, your insurance, all those probate, all of those, having your LLC and having insurance in place. All of those things are the things that we talk about. So you are holistic and you can sleep. When you sleep, you can sleep with your two eyes closed. That's what we talk about here. So it's mainly financial freedom. Money is just a tool. Money is just a tool to actually get us there. And that income is very, very important, right? That income helps you. But what you do with that income really matters. That's why we say that it's a four step wealth system, which is your income, then you have your asset, then your asset gives you something called cash flow, and then cash flow now gives you something called financial freedom. And that's it. But guess what? We were not taught that in school. So you might be wondering, how come I don't know this? Because the other day I did put one of my posts had, if you have $225,000, right? $225 in your, you put it in an S&P 500, right? You will have over $4 million. And somebody said, that? I said, yes, that. And then I was like, how come nobody told me? Yes, now you know, right? $27 is $10,000, right? All that you need to fund your Roth IRA or ISA or your TFSA if you're in Canada, if you're in the UK, all that you have to fund it is 7,500. That's about $625. That's $300. That's less than $20 a day. Yes, that's how we break it right here. So if you want to know how to blow money, you want to finish $10,000 a year, just keep spending $27 a day because that's $10,000 a year, right? Now you understand and you're like, how come I never thought about it that way? Yes, those are things that we break down here because yes, because you're too busy. So you're not thinking about it that way. So, but if you think about money that way, always think about money like whenever you are giving the next $100 and somebody doesn't appreciate it, right? You send the next African tax and somebody doesn't appreciate it. Remember that one, how many hours is that $100 of your life that you gave out? How many hours is that? If you then that is the hour that you cannot get back. So always think about it that way. Know the value of money, right? And give your money direction because if you don't give your money direction, it's going to give itself direction, and the direction it gives it doesn't definitely build your wealth. And thank you all for tapping out the live. Welcome, welcome. Tap out the live, share out the live, invite your friends over. So it's income, asset, cash flow, freedom, right? That's the flow, right? Because the wealthy use money differently. They use their income differently. The middle class pays the highest level of taxes, and at the same time the wealthy, they use their money, their income differently, and that's the difference, right? Our a regular middle class wants to use their money to impress, to enjoy life and all of that. The wealthy take their money to use it to build asset first, and then that asset will now give them cash flow to now enjoy the life and impress others if they still want to impress. All right, so what do I do today? Let's say I want to start today. As of today, I want to start from beginning today. Right? What are the steps that I'm going to follow, right? Now that you understand that, okay, it's a four-step system, which is income, cash flow, income, assets, cash flow, and of course financial freedom, right? What would I do if I have to start all over today, right? What do you think is the first step into wealth building? Anybody knows? And thank you all for tapping out. King Kike, what do you think? Yeah, what do you think you need to Mopsy, Champy, Queen Sarah, user, Brightline, entrepreneur, Road Aaron. Oh, Road Aaron sound like, is that a travel nurse? A bohem ex-boyfriend. Ooh, ex-boyfriend is also here. Yeah. So thank you all for tapping out. So what do you think is where does the income, we're in the category. When you are starting with your income, you have to start. What do you think is the first thing to start with? What do you think? Thank you all for tapping out the live and sharing out the live. Thank you for doing that. Um, what do you think? Because I can being employed. Thank you so much, King Kicker. Being employed is the first thing. It starts with your income, right? Except you have a an inheritance. They're very, very spot on. Be employed, salary. Your income is the first step. Your income is the first step. King Kika is following. Make sure you connect with him. Right there, he is following. Yeah, and let me just give you because it shows that you're listening. Well done, well done. Yeah, good student. Yeah. So it starts with your income. So except you have you won a jackpot or you're a trust kid or you got a you're a trust kid or your parents left you an inheritance. Everything starts with your income. That's why I will tell you, I'm not one of those people that tells you, oh, you know what, your income is bad, become an entrepreneur. I tell you the truth. It starts with your income, right? Whatever income that you're earning, right? Treat it nicely. Do your job diligently and make sure, as a matter of fact, within this community, which is MDL, right, the $1 Million League, what we always say is that have a high income. The higher that your income is, the better for you, right? The higher the income, the better for you because you are going to keep the expenses. Sarah, thank you so much for tapping out the light. The income is here, the expense is here. Then this is what you use in building wealth. Remember, we said it's assets that creates freedom. So how do you create that asset that will give you that freedom? It is about this income here. This expense being maintained low. That difference is what is going to help you build wealth. So the first thing first is that your income. So what is the next thing? Now that you have your income, who can tell me what you think is the next thing? For the OGs in this house, what is the next thing after your income? And thank you all for tapping out the live. And make sure, thank you also. Check if you have not clicked on that follow button. Join the $1 Million League. What do you think is the next thing? Anybody can try? Anybody wants to try? Okay, so the next thing, once you have this income, the next thing is build your emergency fund, right? Fix your foundation, the foundation of a house, right? Have you ever seen, and I'll show this, this is for my son, he built this in church. This is a whole house, right? And there has to be a foundation. Have you ever seen someone just start building, constructing the 4 pillars of the house without the foundation, right? Have you ever seen any of that? And if you've ever seen that, what happens to that kind of house? It's going to fall, right? It's going to fall. It's going to collapse. That's what happened. So you first of all need to fix your foundation. What do I mean by fix your foundation? Number one is you build your emergency fund, right? Even as of today, if you have not built an emergency fund, please, I beg you, go build an emergency fund. An emergency fund is basically 4 things. Your housing, which is your mortgage or your rent, your transportation, which is your car, bus pass, whatever takes you from point A to B, your groceries, feeding, and of course your utilities, right? All of those things are the basic needs, right? Those are basic needs. Jemima, welcoming. Karen, today, welcoming. Wakama, welcoming. Elijah, welcoming. And thank you all for tapping out the live and sharing out the live. Click on that follow button if you haven't, right? So these 4 things for 1 month. Start with 1 month if you don't have any of this at all. The money, whatever, if that equates to $3,000, $2,000, make sure you have it in an account, right? And what account? Put it in an high yield savings account, right? Mopsy, how are you? Yeah. Put it in an high yield savings account. That high yield savings account, and you're wondering what are your savings account? Hey, Christine, how are you today? Welcome on the YouTube side. Make sure you click on that subscribe button. And we're talking about the four wealth system, four steps wealth building system. That's what we're talking about. Awesome. Hey, Jabba, welcome in. So awesome. And met Kobe, Chell, and AJ Joel. Welcome all in. Bakisa, Aika, Kobe. Welcome in. Awesome. So have your emergency for those four things is the first thing that you need to have. Four things, right? Housing, transportation, utilities, and of course the last thing is your groceries, your feeding, right? Make sure you have that for at least 1 month. Put it in an IU savings account. An IU savings account is an account that gives you 3 to 5% a better interest rate than your regular bank. Why do you put it in an IU savings account and you don't put it in the stock market or use it? It's because it has to be liquid because it's for emergency. And why is it important? It's part of your foundation, the solid foundation, because it's going to help you in a situation where there is an actual emergency, you don't go into debt. It's almost like your safety net. If there's no income, there's an income less or something, your family is still taken care of. Why you get yourself together to move on to the next level, to the next big thing. That's why it is very important, right? Oh, Christian said it, agreed. Yeah, great. I hope you have clicked this on subscribe button because that's part of the things that we do and we talk about here. This is one, a little out of the strategies that we talk about here. And building your emergency fund is the first thing first. Now, and it's even more important now. Think about a lot of layoffs. Oracle laid off 30,000, Spirit Airlines 17,000 families, Meta 7,000, and a lot more than that. A lot more. So you want to ensure that your family is protected, is immune, so you don't go into debt in a situation where there is an income loss. The second thing is that you pay high interest debt. What do I mean by this and why is this important? High interest debt is any debt that is higher than 10%. So your mortgage, your car note does not fall in this category. It's basically your credit card, all those payday loans. You want to make sure you take care of it. Why? A lot of people make this mistake and jump straight into investing because when you have high interest that most of those high interest that are in the eyes of 20s, 21%, 25%, 32%, all those credit cards, they are really high. Investment, if you put it in save investment, you're just like an S&P 500, you get like 14 to 15%. That's what it's done in the past 10 years. Look at it. You are paying somebody's business, like you're having servicing a credit card at 27%. So you are losing 27% instead, and you're just getting 15%. That means you are at a 12%, almost a 12% deficit. That's where you are at. So a lot of people make that mistake. So you want to take care of any high interest debt before you start going into investing. As a matter of fact, whenever I had one-on-one consultation, those are the major things that we're looking at as part of that blueprint. What are the debts that you have? And we tackle that, right? And of course, what do you have an emergency fund in place? All those things are the things that we get to do. Now, once you have taken care of high interest debts, and how do you take care of high interest debt? You can use the avalanche method, you can use snowball method, you can use, the debt consolidation method to also, you can use any of those methods to pay it off. If you want to know more about it and you don't know how to put one, if you want to know more about that, then I'll talk about it. Otherwise, we can talk about it another day. So we just go through this. The third one is, so build emergency fund. If I'm starting all over again, or you are just a starter, you're a beginner, right? Have your emergency fund, pay high interest there. Then the next thing is you can now start investing. And then remember, we talk about assets. Remember, it's income assets. Now we're getting to the assets category. The first two that we talk about is you fixing your foundation. Now we're getting to the asset. What are assets? One of the assets we talk about here is investing in the stock market. Yes. And you're saying that, oh yeah, but people lose money in the stock market. Absolutely. Yes. I've had my own fair share. I lost about 99,000 about 6 years ago. Yes. About $99,000, not $99. That's how much I lost. But guess what? Where did I put my money? I put my money in investments. Like I did penny stock, I did day trading, and did options trading, and those three lost me close to 100 grand. That's how much I lost. And that's when I started investing in a different way, like trying to figure out where the multimillionaire, how do they invest, and started using the method that they use, because they invest in the stock market, right? Because understand one thing: if you do not put your money if you just leave your money in the bank, which a lot of people do, right? Which is the other option, just leave it in the bank, you're getting 0.01%. The rule of 72, which you can Google about, it tells you how long does it take your money to double? Rule of 72. Just take number 72 divided by the rate of return. So if you're getting 1% in terms on your bank, it means that 1%, it means that your money 72 divided by 1. It means that you're just getting, your money is going to take you 72 years to double. So it means that your money would not, more like your money, that's part of the reason why a lot of middle class do not build wealth, because they put their money in the bank expecting it that, okay, you know what, it's safe. But then aside from the fact that it's not growing, the other thing is that there's something called inflation. In the United States, inflation is currently at 3.8%. So it means that you're losing your money at 3.8%, but you are getting 0.01% back, right? In other places, it's even in double digits. So it's the rate at which your money is losing value in the bank. So understand, if you understand this, all of these things, because it's in the little things like this that people lose their money, right? They're saying that, okay, but I'm working hard, I'm making six figures. But then these are things that make people lose their money and they're not paying attention to it. The other part of it is that, so where then do you put your money? Understanding you could lose your money in the stock market like I did, but at the same time, leaving it in the bank is not an option because you're losing it to inflation, guaranteed, right? How do you put your money? We put our money in ETFs, we put our money in index funds, because we follow the Warren Buffett principle. Warren Buffett, they call him the Lord of Investing, because it is one of the most, they said is the most successful person when it comes to investing. He's worth billions of dollars. He's a 96 years old man right now. And guess what? One of the things is, he says, when they asked him, where does Jeff Bezos, actually the owner of Amazon, so Amazon CEO, asking him, Mr. Jeff, why? Hey, Dr. Fatima, how are you? Looking forward to Saturday. Dr. Fatima is the executive director that is going to be teaching us about scholarships at the Wealth Building Academy. So if you have not registered, we have about 3 seats left right now on the academy. Make sure you get registered, and tackling is about the fastest finger at this point, so that you get your seat for the it's going to be on Zoom. So once you register, you find the link in my bio. It's the only link there, nestu.me/ Money Talk with Dr. Lina. You find the link in my bio. It's called the Wealth Building Academy. It takes you 30 seconds to get it completed. Once you complete it, you have the own personalized link to Zoom for you to get ready to confirm that you're registered. So for anybody that is pending, that have not registered for the training. So having said that, so the Jeff Bezos was asking Warren Buffett, right? Why come people don't follow your strategy, understanding that you have been so successful with investing in the stock market? And one of the things that he did say was, because it's so simple, right? It's so simple, but people always think about investing as very complicated, right? And I hear that every single day. Oh, it's too complicated. It's because I don't have money. With $1, you can start investing in the stock market. And then I don't know what to buy. You do not need to pick and choose. You don't need to pick and choose, right? You basically need to buy a whole basket, right? Instead of buying individuals, right? Individuals, because individuals was where I lost my money, right? Buy something like S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, all of those kind of things would And why? Because you diversify your risk, you diversify your portfolio. And thank you all for tapping out the live. Let's tap out the live. Let's share the live. Let's invite our friends over. Tap out the live, share out the live, invite our friends over, and so that they can also come and learn. Tapping is just you touching the screen, it costs you nothing. And of sharing the live, press my forehead on the screen and you would see your contacts, share it with them, and you would see them right here, right now, and they will come and also learn the first step to wealth building, right? And that's what we are talking about here. Now, um, so the next thing is, why is ETF a better strategy, or why does Warren Buffett talk about it? The reason why Warren Buffett, it's because he helps you to spread your risk. So if your fear is, oh, I'm going to lose money in the stock market and I don't want to lose my money in the stock market, the thing about it, think about it. Whenever you put your money, when you buy an individual stock, you can lose all your money. If that stock goes down, the stock can become zero, right? If your money is in you put it in a penny stock, it can become zero, right? Even if it's in a good stock, something can happen, the company can become bankrupt, right? That's what can happen. However, if you put your money in a basket, meaning that this company is there, right, the one that went bankrupt, but then there's 300 other companies, or 30, there's another 3,000 companies in there, it means that the impact is low if one company goes down. And that's why it's a better strategy, right? The returns might not be as significant in terms of 100%, and you double your money in 5 months. It might not be, but the power of compounding does the job. So as little as starting with $100 gets you to that $1 million status. As a matter of fact, with $27 a day, you will get to $1.6 million in 20 years or less. So that is, if you do that for 10 years and just leave it 20 years, it might sound like a long time, but it's $27 a day. That your lunch money and that your coffee money. Guess what? You get to over $1 million. So that's part of the strategies that we talk about here. But then we even do it quicker because we're saying 10 years. Obviously, that's not 10 years. So for all the people that are you're joining the $1 million league, that click on that follow button, right? Join. We have a different strategy, right? Including real estate, including the stock market, all of the makes and businesses, ensuring proper diversification. That is the strategy that we use here in building wealth, right? Making sure we gain financial freedom. So make sure you click on that follow button if you have it. And then once you have ETF, you buy the ETF, right? You buy the ETF, you start investing. I always say that whenever you're buying in the stock market, do dollar cost averaging. Make sure you are consistent with it, right? Dollar cost average, be consistent. Let automation do the job for you, do the heavy lifting, and let compounding do the heavy lifting for you. Because with you can contribute $100,000, and then in terms of over a period of 10 years or whatever, and get yourself to that $1 million status, just by all that you put in is $100,000. But guess what? You get like $900,000 or even $1 million as as a power of compounding. I've told you the story of I only have less than 4 million. It's in another currency, 4 million, and guess what? Over a certain number of years, it became 40 million. I wish it's in the US dollars, but it's not, right? It's in another currency. And because of that, that's what compounding does for you. As a matter of fact, let me give you one. Like the 72, I talked about 72. If you take an S&P 500, it's done 14 to 15%. So it means that your money is going to double in 4 years and 9 months. So if you start, let's say you put $10,000, or let's say you start saving $10,000, that's $27 a day. You consistently do it for the next 10 years. Every single day you save 27, that's going to bring you to $100,000. If you have that one, your 100,000 becomes in year 5, your $100,000 becomes $200,000. In year 10, your $100,000, it's going to be less. Actually, it's about 9 years in by year 10. But let's say year 10, let's be conservative. Year 10, your 100,000 becomes 400,000. You did not have any other money to it. All you had was 100,000. By year 10, your money becomes 400,000. By year 15, your 100,000 becomes 800,000. And by year 20, your 100,000 becomes 1.6 million. All you have put in is $1 million in an S&P 500. And you're wondering, all you put in is 100,000, you get 1.5 million. That's the power of compounding. That is why they always say time in the market always supersede time in the market. Go on, and you might be like, you can prove me wrong. Take an investment, go on investor.gov and put your calculation, put your numbers right there, and you will find the numbers. It's not me, it's compounding that does the job. But a lot of time people do not want to follow those principles. They're like 20 years. If only you know that COVID-19 is already over 6 years. We're going 7 years since COVID-19, which is 2020, right? And you're always like, oh, 10 years is a long time, 5 years is a long time. Think about when you started working and look at where you are now, right? That's how the time flies. And once you do it and you do it consistently, you see that, you know what, this is what you need to do. Just set it and stop looking. So find something solid and start building wealth that way. Those are strategies. So invest in ETF. And you want to know everything about how to invest in ETF, you'll find the link in my bio. We have a full course how to go about it from beginning to the end. It's a self-paced course. You would find it right there on the and I'll show you, after. You would see it right there, and you can start your investment journey, right? And as a matter of fact, you can invest in ETF from anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, just open the account and get it done. And then, and you might be like, okay, you know what, I don't have the money. $1. Extra rain or extra. Oh, yes. Thank you so much for confirming that. Make sure that you click on that subscribe button if you haven't done that on the YouTube side. But glad that you said this is key. And that's how you build wealth. But guess what? How do you build that wealth? Remember, if your income is here, your expense is here, these that we have in here, that is what you can use towards investing. You cannot buy invest in the stock market or buy ETF if you don't have your savings, right? Right. So that's why that is very, very important. The other thing is that you want to start, it's going to start helping you to grow your money. But here we even say that next thing is that when you grow your money, you put it in something called it will help you to go to build capital. As a matter of fact, with $1 you can start investing. Gone are the days when people would say, oh, you know what, it's because I don't have money, that's why I'm not investing. With $1 you can buy fractional shares, right? You don't have to buy the entire unit. With $1 you can buy fractional shares. The other thing is that cash flowing, the next thing is that once you build the capital, right? Because it gets to a certain point, you have built the capital to a certain extent, and you'll be like, you know what, I've already taken care of, the stock market. I already taken care of my Roth IRA. I've taken care of my ISAD, my TFSA. I've done all of that, taking care. But I still have some others. You want to also start diversifying. Always put diversification. The same way you are diversifying your portfolio and not putting your money in just one stock. That's the same way you also want to diversify. So think about real estate. Real estate, I talk about real estate a lot because I personally own and manage double-digit real estate portfolio. And congratulations to Ima Philly joining the $1 Million League. Clicking on that follow button. Congratulations to you doing that, joining, taking a chance about with your finances, clicking that follow button, joining the $1 Million League. Yeah. And saying that I'm going to get to $1 million in 10 years or less, right? Instead of working from age 20 to 65, 45 years and still not get to there. So congratulations to you right there. The next thing is for you to invest in real estate. Real estate is, forget about whatever anybody is saying, or real estate, if you buy it right, real estate is a cash flowing engine. It is what they call the wealth accelerator, because real estate pays you in 6 different ways. You have cash flow, you have equity, you have tax benefit, you have you use other people's money, you use leverage, and of course appreciation. That's how much you get from real estate. Real estate it's beautiful. That's all I can say. It is beautiful. Every first I am smiling because I got the sale, right? And of course, there's also the bad side of it, things about eviction, but you need to just put your right structure, buy it right, fix everything and make sure that you do it right. But if you want to learn how to buy your real estate, it takes you just 90 days. 90 days is all that you need to start investing in real estate. If you want to know how to start investing in real estate with just 90 days, and you're ready to do that with your capital, everything that you need. You find the course right there as well. How to buy real estate is a self-paced course that's going to guide you on how to invest in real estate. So you've been waiting around, you've been saying, see your friend invest in real estate, and you don't know anything about it. That course is for you, and you're learning from somebody that not just own and manage double-digit real estate portfolio. That is who I am, and all you find it right there. That's going to teach you. Hold your hands. Basically, that's what it's going to teach you. You'll find the cost in the bio. So make sure you have real estate in it. And the other thing you want to have is, after taking care of this, you want to also have something called businesses on the other side, because you want to make sure you diversify. Remember, it is a lot of time people only have one stream of income, and one stream of income is close to no stream of income. I hope we understand that. So you want to get to the point where your money is now the one doing the job for you. So your money is, do have money in the ETF, making sure you fund all the four accounts, like the four accounts that you're supposed to have. Then you need to have the real estate part, and then have businesses, and you see all of these little minions of you doing the job for you. Get to one point, you are working because you want to work, not because you have to pay bills. You're working, you're work optional. That's where you want to get to. So make sure you create additional extra stream of income. Don't just work and just take all the money and fund lifestyle. To gain financial freedom or to build wealth, it is about being intentional. It's not about saying that, okay, I just do the 9 to 5 and do. Take some of the money and put it towards investing, and then once you start investing, you start creating cash flow for you, and that's how you build wealth. Thank you for tapping out the line. Make sure you click on the follow button. If you've been sitting here, you found value, right? You now understand some of this thing, rule of the 72, how to invest, all of that. Make sure you click on that follow button, click on the tap out the live. And if you haven't just also joined the join the $1 million league. That's you just clicking the follow button. But if you have not joined the register for the Wealth Building Academy this Saturday, it is free, but registration is required. That is what we're doing this Saturday, 12 noon Central Time. We're doing that this Saturday. Okay, this Saturday. So do not miss out on that. Create additional streams of income. Always do that. Make sure that you do that. Thank you for tapping out the light, right? So go understand this. The problem isn't that most people don't make enough money, right? I tell you, because I have one-on-ones, I have mentorship programs. I meet with some very good income individual, right? I gave a story of a friend of mine that turned client, how she was paying her taxes in a year. When she filed tax return, it's not like what she's paying on a monthly. Her taxes in a year, when she filed the taxes, she pays about $70,000. Year one, she paid 60,000. Year two, she paid 70,000. Yes, she made that kind of decent money. Some people make very decent money, but they don't manage it well. As a matter of fact, she had close to $1 million in an account, in her own bank account. But guess what? That money wasn't doing any job. As a matter of fact, the bank was calling her to say that, I hope that this money is, that it's not insured. It's insured up to 250,000, but you have close to $1 million in one account. And guess what? When we talked, and the year that we met, she knew that her taxes was going to be closer to like in the 80s and 90s, because she was making more money that year. And we were like, okay, if you were ready to change, you are ready to listen now. Listen to Money and Fame. I like that. Ari music. Welcome in, Bobby. Welcome in, Shell Shot. Welcome in. I said, you know what? If you're ready to listen now, right? And we had a consultation, and guess what? She bought 2 properties, cash the next year. And guess what? Her tax, even though she made more income that year, her taxes reduced to $10,000. Those are things that we talk about here. $10,000 from 70,000, 60,000. So guess what? The middle class pays the highest level of taxes, because the higher is a progressive tax. The higher your income, the higher your taxes. But it's not the same thing with the the own with the what's it called, the wealthy, because they form their own tax brackets. Basically, they form the tax bracket, and you can form your own tax bracket. How? Because if you buy real estate, you can change your tax bracket to 15%. You can say that it's 10%. that you want to pay this year. As a matter of fact, I got 20,000 back. This is with a vice president income, and at the same time with a professor, as a professor teaching AI cybersecurity and deep learning in the university. Right? With that income, I still got money back this year in double things. Right? That's because I own real estate, and that's I literally say that IRS pays you for owning real estate. What do I mean? Property taxes, you claim it. Insurance, you claim it. All those interests that we're talking about, you claim it, but to reduce your W2. And those are the strategies that we talk about here. So if you want to learn everything about this, now just click on that follow button and join the $1,000,000 League. Come, make sure you turn on the notification bell so you can come and learn this strategy from time to time and start building wealth. Because it's not about, remember, it's not about that your income, it's what you do with that income. So the problem isn't that most people don't make enough money, but the problem is nobody taught them the system. And that's the system that we teach here. And this weekend, as a matter of fact, this weekend, and I'll show you this weekend, where's my iPad? Yeah, we have the Wealth Building Academy. Like I said, we only have maybe two more seats left at this point. Two more seats left. And it's free, by the way. We have 4 doctors that are coming to teach. We had Dr. Fatima, is an executive director that is coming to teach how to go to college for free, scholarships. She is the one around that does all of those scholarship things and all of that. She's coming to teach. We have a chief information security officer who is also director that is also teaches AI cybersecurity in the university. He's also in the college, also coming to teach. Right, these are all the people giving back. And then we also have Dr. O that is also going to be teaching. Right, and I'll be there. And we're going to be talking about how to increase your income, how to build wealth, how to have your solid foundation, how to ensure that you protect whatever you're building, like things like LLC, things like living trust, all of those kind of things, and all of the strategies about smart investing, about all of the things like that, are the things that we're going to be teaching. So you do not want to miss it. So just for the people that, and like I said, we only have 3 seats. Put nothing down. We only have about 3 seats left at this point. So let me just. Toya Essence, thank you so much for the heart. So let me show you where you can find it, and we're wrapping up the live now. So you find it right here. You say https://nestu.me. That's the only link you find. Click on it. And then you say click on open anyway. So it's about the fastest fingers. So right here, you click on it. It takes you 4 minutes. Less than 30 seconds. All you have to ask you is, it's going to ask you for your name and your phone number, or no, your name and your email, and then it's because it's going to be on Zoom. Then you get your own personalized link to Zoom, right? So click on it. If you click on it this way, you'll find it, and then you would go all the way. So you can see $0. Click on it. This is all these doctors giving back to the society. It's almost like a CSR, corporate social responsibility, where we're all giving back and saying that, you know what, the exact thing that was missed from the school curriculum, let us try to close that gap. And that's what we're doing. So click on right here. And then you fill the form, and we would get you should have your email. You would get an email. If you do not get an email, let us know. Okay, let us know. Let me know so that we can you can help you out, because without the link you cannot get into the Zoom call. We can't, without the link you can get into the Zoom call. So we're doing it on Zoom, and it's not just only the TikTok. We have the YouTube. So for my people on YouTube, you'll find the same link on YouTube as well. It's the only link that I have on YouTube. Make sure you click on the link and get registered. It's free for registration. Well, this is not about this is not get rich scheme. This is about, as a matter of fact, protection layer first, and of course how to grow to income into real wealth. So if your goal is to get to that $1 million status in 10 years, make sure you click on the follow button, turn on the notification bell, and don't miss out on the Wealth Building Academy that we have this weekend. You will find the link in the bio. All right, all right. Otherwise, you can also send me a DM or comment wealth in any of my videos, my last videos, and you would get the link. You would get the, we'll send you the link to get registered. Like I said, we just have 3 more seats left at this point, and whoever takes it, takes it, right? Yeah, awesome. All right, guys. All right. We'll be wrapping up here. So we're talking about the Wealth Building Academy, how to increase your income, building a financial foundation, smart investing, real estate investing, and of course, financial freedom. Did you say academic? What's academic? Entrepreneur? What's academic? What do you mean by that? Are you asking if I'm a doctor of academic, or are you asking I'm a medical doctor? What's that? What's your question? Right. I'm not sure I understand. Entrepreneur, can you? Yeah. So that's what we're going to be. That's so this weekend, do not miss that. For those that are registered, congratulations. For everybody in the $1 million league today, by the way, congratulations to you. Chance, and for those that made the purchase and secured the spot for the Wealth Academy, and this is for you. This is for you. I want to join the training on Saturday. Yes, the training on Saturday. Yes, right here. You have to register, right? You have to register online. And like I said, we only have 3 more seats. So lucky you if somebody has not taken the spot. You find it. This is my bio. Entrepreneur, this is my bio. Click on it. That's the only link that we have right there. Click on this link. Then you will come here. It's not going to be on TikTok or any of the platform. And the same thing on YouTube. That's what you will find. That's the only link. Click on open anyway. Once you click on it, you would find it right here. The Wealth Building Academy. Click on it. And then you would find it here. You go all the way. Can you see? You already have free live training, right? Go all the way down and you say buy access. See, it's $0. Click on it's $0. Let me try to mirror it. So you can see, is it showing now? So you can see it's $0. Click on buy access and you'll be able to, it takes you less than 30 seconds, and you'll be good. Then you should get an email in your box. If you do not have the email, please, or your junk mail, check your spam. It should be there. The pretty, what's it called? Nessie is pretty diligent when it comes to that. And right now we only have 3 seats left. We'll see if we can clean up it again, because we have some people that mistakenly registered twice. That's the only room for us to actually create more opportunities, because at this point we are close to 100. Yeah, we have close to 100 registration. So you don't want to, and if you know you're not going to be there, please, yeah, create the space, free up the space for another person, so that we can all just come learn, right? Come learn how, right? You can come do that, okay? It's going to be on Zoom, so you get your own personalized link. Does that answer your question, entrepreneur? You got what you need, or you already probably stepped out and is doing it right now? Any other person with any question? I'll be wrapping up the live now. Any other question? And I hope you have found value. Put 1 if you have found value today. Put 1 if you have found value. 1 if you found value today. A Tropical Queen, Entrepreneur, McLean, Clean, Ari Music. Let me know you found value today. Put 1 if you found value today. Or maybe everybody stepped out. All right. Okay. Okay, 1 more minute, and if I don't get to see you guys again, then I'll definitely see you in class on Saturday. All right. Ensure that your money is working harder than you do. All right, guys. Love you. And I'll see you guys.